is a better, I don't know what you'll think about this, is a better model serial monogamy, moving from golden retriever to bad boy to retriever again as you enter different life stages? Is marriage done? I don't know if he means from, maybe he means from the woman's perspective. Would it serial monogamy for a woman?
I just got the last bit where he said, is marriage done? Is marriage done? Well, I definitely think marriage has lost its value. It's lost its meaning. I think more and more people don't want to get married. I think a lot of men don't see the benefits of getting married anymore.
Yes. Can you see from the male point of view why men are sort of becoming, you know, they're sort of reticent about marriage? Can you or to put it another way, would you as a woman, would you say there are also drawbacks for the woman as well that maybe men don't think about when we're on these podcasts?
It's a difficult one, because I think with men, obviously they just don't see the benefits in it anymore, because they're like, we lose, you gain. So, and for men, it's such a it's a big thing for them, because they have to see, well, you know, if this doesn't work, we're going to lose, you know, I'm going to lose my wealth, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to, you know, mental health, all of this stuff. So it's a difficult one. Whereas the women are like, well, we want commitment. You know, we want that ring on our hand.
Yeah.
So I think it's a difficult one. I would definitely say that obviously women push for it more. And it falls down to security. Women want security. Ultimately, that's, you know, that's really what we strive for in life. So of course the women are going to push that, and they're going to pressure the men for that. But I can completely understand why the men don't want to get married anymore. Yeah. Because we see women leaving all the time. Women are always initiating the divorce. They're always the ones.
Yeah, it's like 70% or something, isn't it? Or
yeah,
higher.
Exactly, 70%. Yeah. So it's very high.
And why do you think that is? Because often women will say, yeah, but, you know, that's because the men caused it, or because the men did something. I'm not sure about that, really. I suspect that, although I don't have data, I'm afraid, but I suspect it's a bit more to do with thinking the grass is greener, perhaps. I don't know what you think. Or if you
I feel as if, sorry, I'm just going to go to another room, sorry, just because it's quite loud. Okay? It's fine. You're going to edit this. Are we live, yeah? We're live. Okay.
We're live. Don't worry, though, it's fine.
I'm just going to sit here because it is very loud in there. Yeah, and I'm on Zoom. Right, here we are. Yes, back to what we were saying. Yeah, so I completely understand why the men are, you know, debating whether they want to get married these days. I get it, and I think we always see these women leaving, but you asked me the reason for it, and I feel that, I mean, whenever we talk about this stuff, we have to be very general, and it's difficult. Most of the time, the men are lacking something. So aside from the kind of serious cases, which is obviously like domestic and like that, let's just sort of focus on the behavior and why women choose to leave a man. And I would say it really does come down to the man lacking something. Usually he has very weak boundaries. Sometimes the man is lacking, you know, the financial side of things. I know a lot of women who are really in their masculine energy right now. They're pretty much on survival mode because the man is not making enough, and they've just had enough. They are always working. They're always exhausted. So I think women are just sort of tired of that. They kind of, you know, there's this sort of trend right now going around, the soft girl era. But it's a lot of women.
Is that like almost anti the going out and working type thing?
Yeah, a lot of women now, if you ask them, they would much rather stay at home and not work, but they want to know that they have a man that can take care of them and do that.
Yeah. I don't blame them, really. I mean, you know, one of the problems, you know, feminism has fought incredibly hard for women to go out and work, and now everyone's got to work in these crappy cubicle jobs, and like everyone's fucking miserable, you know. So I don't know. I think as a woman, I don't know. I mean, like I always thought my mother actually has never. Well, with all due respect, Mum, if you're watching, she's never really worked a full job. I mean, she's worked for period, in her own business for periods of time and things like that, and she's done other things. She sells artwork and stuff. But it occurred to me recently, she's probably one of the last of that generation of women who just didn't really, it's just they got married and then just were able to do anything. And it seems like the generation since, really, the women have all just gone out to work or been expected to, at least for a period of time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, was that was it worth the fight? Really, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what I'd do if I was a woman. I think I'd probably quite rather just be sort of like, be sort of looked after by somebody, really, probably. But
yeah. I mean, I get asked this all the time, and I speak to women every day about this topic. And most of the women in my life right now, they would love to meet a man that can take care of them and for them not to work. But because they haven't found that, they're out here working. They have to pay their bills.
Yeah, for sure. So what would you say? Look, I mean, obviously, you meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of like high value guys and women and so on, and I'm sure like regular people as well. I mean, what would you say? Perhaps what are some of the major mistakes that you think guys are making in dating now? And what would you say some of the key things that guys should focus on if they want to get better results with women in 2024?
Okay, well, I think men need to sort of, first of all, get rid of this. A lot of men right now, they need to get rid of this this type of sassy energy that they have these days. Okay, I think what's happening is dating has just become so challenging, right, for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's exhausted. Everyone's sick of it. People getting played left, right, and center.
Yeah.
The men are angry. The women will have trauma, all kinds of stuff, right? And so people have turned really angry and bitter. And so the men have turned very angry and bitter, especially in the social world.
Yeah.
In the social media world. So they've started this whole sassy man thing where it's like, well, what do you bring to the table?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what they don't realize is this type of behavior exhibits a lot of feminine energy. Okay. Because feminine is very much sitting, not doing much, it being in that receiving state of mind, and not doing, if that makes sense. And masculine has always been doing, taking action, coming forward, going after something that you want. And so what's happened now is the balance is off because men have become bitter now. So now they're like, no, we're going to turn it around on the women and we're going to be like, what do you bring to the table? And that's repulsing women. So what's happening? Women are going forward to the men who are the traditional masculine ones who have no issue coming forward being like, hey, I'll buy you this. I'll do you this. Oh, I haven't met you yet, but I'll send you roses to your house. They're picking those type of men because there's like a large pool of men who have become very, sorry to say, but they're giving off very feminine energy. They're questioning the woman about, what do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer? What do you have to do this? And they're not pursuing the woman. Back in the day, men knew that if they wanted to be in the presence of a woman, they had to court her. They had to pursue her. That's just always been the masculine thing. And it's just in their instinct to go after the woman that they want. But now what's happening is with the men, they're not doing that anymore. So now they want the woman to reach out. They want the woman to come after them. They want the woman to plan the date. And this is very repulsive behavior for women.
No,
because
I think
women want to be in their soft, feminine energy. They want to be courted.
No, I think absolutely men should be the ones who are leading the interaction. They should be the ones who are reaching out and planning the date and all the rest of it. I'm not sure about the flowers thing. That's the only thing. But I could see that working in some context. I could see that working if the guy is like really high value and it's kind of like, and all of that. And again, this is where there's a lot of black and white thinking, I think, in this space, because there will be people who hear that and they'll say, oh, that's simping. That's simp behavior, right? But it depends on the context, because it kind of also depends who's doing it. Right. If you are somebody who is she perceives as high value, already she's going to be like, well, fuck, that was really nice, or that's just how he is. Because and then the whole thing about money, right? Because the guys will also say, well, spending money on a woman is kind of simping, or it's like you know that's what beta guys do because they're kind of having to pay for it and stuff. But if you're a guy who has resources anyway, then what does it fucking matter if you go to a restaurant and you drop a couple of £100 or a few £100?
Yeah.
Like who gives a fuck, right? It's not a big deal. So it's all about the context, isn't it? But at the same time, the only thing I would say is that it also though depends on the masculine energy of the guy, because if you're doing those things, but you're also just doing it in a kind of way that's a bit needy, or you're trying to gratify her, or you're just a bit fucking boring, I think, frankly, then it's probably not going to play very well, right?
Yes, that's it. It's all about the energy. It's all about, so yeah, you're absolutely right. So you could have the guy who's perhaps, again, nice guy. He's the nice guy, but he's doing all this. But the difference between him and then the high value man who's maybe got a lot more pride and a lot more respect for himself is that the high value man is like, he will do that, but you can't walk all over him. So he's only doing that to you in the beginning to show you, like, yeah, I am worth your time, but he's not begging. He's not begging you, and he's not short of options. Whereas the other guy, he gives off the energy that he's not in demand.
Yes,
He
and
gives
that's
off energy. I'm just like, I need to be with you, and it's needy. It's needy and it's desperate. And to be honest, humans don't like that. We can feel desperate energy.
Yeah, it's so nuanced, isn't it? And I think, like you said, I think this does apply to both sexes. Actually, I think men actually have a sense of this from women as well, and women certainly have a sense of this from men, and it repels women if the guy's too much like that. But I think the problem, the imbalance, comes about because women basically have more options. So you know what I mean? So like, if your inbox is full of DMs every day and there's loads of random guys out there, then women can probably afford to reject more of these guys because it's just like, oh, this guy's fucking, oh, he's a loser, whatever. Whereas maybe a guy with fewer options is like, well, she's a bit needy, but I haven't had a date for 3 months, so what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? So it's something that as men we need to be very like aware of and really act accordingly, I think.
Yeah, I think the top tip that I would probably give the men, like especially right now, if you know they're actively dating and trying to find the right woman, is set boundaries from the start. That's very important to women. So she should never, like I said, she should never feel like she can just walk all over you. And even when you're in the early stages of dating, you can do this. You can do this there's so many different examples, but you know, I spoke to a guy recently. I think I mentioned him on the podcast, the one who said,
he was trying to get you to drop your plans. And
like, oh, women are flying out from Miami and Paris and New York to be with me just for 40 minutes, right? Okay, fine, we'll park that. But what he said that I found was very interesting was that he was like, okay, I've put it out there that I want to see you. I've been trying to lock in a date with you. Fine, we've been doing the back and forth. You're clearly not free. I'm not free. So he said to me, I will no longer be investing any energy into this.
He said that?
But yes, he said that to me.
Okay.
And he meant that. So you've got to be willing to walk away, and you've got to be able to show the woman that you're going to walk away.
So out of interest, did that make you, I don't know if you then followed up or anything, but did that make you think, oh, actually, I kind of respect that?
It did.
Or did you did?
Because,
okay.
Aside from the stuff that he said before, which I laughed at and was like, you know, rolling my eyes at. But afterwards, when he said that, it made me think, oh, maybe he does have options then. Maybe he was telling the truth. It shifts the dynamic, because now you start to, if he's willing to walk away, then maybe I am one of many women. Therefore, it sends signals to a woman's brain that he is, in fact, desirable.
So this is sorry, Karen.
Yeah, go on.
So this is this delicate balance between, you don't want to be like the guy who's like bragging, right? You know, you don't want to be going around saying, oh, I get loads of bitches, or look at my yacht, and all that kind of stuff. Like, you want to kind of keep it low key, but your presence should sort of communicate that without you having to say it. I think that's the thing.